Hi, my name's Nick Bolton and I'm a Randomfish. Hit that subscribe button and we'll be Randomfishes together, shall we? Now, I did 3 videos last week. This is due to a whole bunch of stuff, including the new Avengers teaser trailer and everything else, and my thoughts about it are on my previous video. So, I wanted to continue on with my Christmas film watching traditions. I wanted to talk about a series called Tin Man, but I'm going to do that in the new year when the Christmas stuff has died down a bit, or I'm going to do it after Christmas, around sort of keeping the winter theme of dark, of a little bit of weirdness, but still trying to keep within that kind of mentality and out of the Christmas mentality. Here's the thing. There are very few Christmas films out there that I would actively consider good. There are some out there that I would consider funny, there are some that I would consider interesting, there are some that I would even consider kind of unique. And one of those films is The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Yep, that's right, you heard me, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. A rather interesting film, for lack of a better term, and a very unique one as well. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas is obviously starring Jim Carrey, and is about the Grinch who spends his time above Whoville, looking down on all the Whos who celebrate Christmas with nothing but contempt and despair. And he then goes about his revenge in the most unique of ways, which is just a point-blank attempt of stealing Christmas. What else are you going to do? With the help of his dog Max, he steals all of the Christmas decorations and all the Christmas presents, and including the Christmas tree. However, when all the Whos in Whoville discover this, they don't break into depression or anything like that, as the Grinch would hope. They, in fact, start holding hands and start singing Christmas songs. The Grinch is so confused as to how this is possible, his heart grows 3 sizes that day. That is the story that Dr. Seuss created. The film with Jim Carrey has a bit more stuff to it. I'm gonna say interesting stuff to it, because frankly, as far as I'm concerned, I liked The Grinch. And I liked The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. I liked the story. Now, don't get me wrong, I do believe that what Dr. Seuss writes are good books. They're great books. They have a wonderful mastery of poetry all to themselves, and that's nice. But every so often, in terms of a live-action film, I want to see something a bit more added to it. I don't just want to see the story being played out directly from the book, because that wouldn't be fun. Now, obviously, this year we've had the Grinch, the new Grinch film that's been released. And I do encourage you to go see it. I have not as yet seen it, but that's due to a whole bunch of issues. But I want to go see this film. Not mainly because it was also directed by Scott Mosier. If you know me and my Kevin Smith fascination, Scott Mosier is a massive part of the View Askew universe. So to me, Scott Mosier directing it is not the reason why, just not the only reason as to why I want to watch The Grinch. There are many reasons. But The Grinch Who Stole Christmas holds a special place in my heart because not only was it one of the first Christmas films where I truly felt that there was something else to Christmas aside from just a bunch of sarcasm and a bunch of very nice platitudes being said out there. You know, there was an actual feeling to Christmas. And I know that you'll probably be thinking to yourselves, well, you know, you watched Muppet Christmas Carol. How did you lose the spirit of Christmas from that perspective? And I didn't lose the spirit of Christmas. But the idea of Christmas Carol was that it was a story about a sour old man being given a chance to embrace a new lease of life, to be given a chance to be better. And that's technically what The Grinch is as well. If you look at it from that perspective, the Grinch himself is a sour man, a sour being, I should say, who is distrustful and disjointed from the rest of his very specifically small world. And the main difference between Christmas Carol and The Grinch is that the people who he's upset with and the people who he's disjointed from are just as bad as he is, which I think was a good little set to it. Now, the Grinch himself, the actual story, is very much, it's not a Christmas Carol per se, but it's more to do with the complete happiness of Christmas versus the complete hatred of Christmas in this gigantic clash of egos. And that's very much what The Grinch Who Stole Christmas really took a look at. It took a look at this rather sort of physical-based community, this world of the Who's who are obsessed with just presents and lights and the physicality of Christmas. The actual celebrating of it was not really used. It was more an excuse to, cover your house in lights and to buy expensive gifts and everything else on top of that. And it was a very materialistic Christmas. And that's what I really think is unique and what sets The Grinch Who Stole Christmas apart. And I know there's a lot of people out there who say things like, oh, Dr. Seuss was great. How can you possibly think that this film, blah, blah, blah. And for many people, for them, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas is a guilty pleasure. And I get that. I do. But for me, it did really feel like it was saying something. A Christmas Carol said something because it was a case of don't shut yourself off from love from the world. Not just at Christmas time, but for the whole year. But Christmas is a time to allow that magic to happen to you. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas was about don't allow yourself to be overtaken by the materialism of Christmas, but also don't shut yourself off so far from it that you don't feel anything for Christmas at all. And that's the big difference, I feel. And that's what I think is the best thing about this. And it's the best thing about The Grinch Who Stole Christmas in general. Jim Carrey is, of course, an absolute genius in this. They gave him this makeup and this costume, and he was able to become one with it and really throw himself out and be animated and be the lovingly brilliantness that we all know Jim Carrey to actually possess. The version of him, it was almost like Ace Ventura painted green. It was like The Mask and Ace Ventura. It was so weird. It wasn't, it was very much that world, and it was very cool. And I do still like this movie, and I don't distrust you if you don't like it, but at the same time, to me, it encapsulates this. It encapsulates the disclothing of the materialism of Christmas. I come from a family who were very much a celebration of Christmas, and I used to go to church. I go to church every Sunday. I used to go to church every time at Christmas for all the big celebrations of it, every single time. And, in recent years, it's become less of a thing for me because I've possibly had a job during that time period and I haven't always been able to make every single service. But when I was a child, I loved it. I loved going to all of that. And that's what I'm talking about. The materialism of Christmas put aside, these services were not about the materialism. It was about the emotional and the spirituality of Christmas. And I don't care if you're Christian, Buddhist, Jewish, Muslim, whatever, this time of year, and whether it be Christmas, whether it be Hanukkah, whether it be whatever, it is not just about the gifts, it is about the spirituality and the emotional connection you make with the people that you love. And that's what The Grinch Who Stole Christmas really gives us. This one character, Cindy Lou, who is amazed at the materialism of Christmas and feels disconnected from Christmas herself. She feels like she's going the same pathway as the Grinch. The only difference is that she understands why she's been feeling disconnected, and she gets it. The Grinch never got that. He never got that understanding. So he became this embittered, sarcastic, cynical guy who lives on top of a mountain hating everybody in Whoville because of this perpetual, seemingly insane grip they had on materialism. And I think that's great. I think that's great to see it. And honestly, I would say to you, if nothing else, go and give this film another watch. Watch it through that kind of filter. Watch it not through the filter of someone who's possibly seen that there's better films out there, but for those of you who really think, I want to give this film a good old go. And I think you should. Because this film really does hit home for me the fact that with Christmas, especially in the Western world, we have become really quite obsessed with the materialism of it all. And it does help every so often to sort of shed everything away and look at the emotional connection. Now, I understand the complete irony of me saying this, given the fact that I'm, right next to my slightly flashy and lovely looking Christmas tree. But I still, on Christmas Day, I will be in a nice house with some nice people, having a nice time, opening presents, having a laugh, talking, doing whatever, because that is Christmas. And honestly, I think everyone's heart should grow 3 sizes that day. And I think your heart should continue to grow every single time. Christmas gives you that, and The Grinch Who Stole Christmas gives you that reminder that Christmas is not the only time of year to try and be selfless and giving to the people, especially to the people that you love and the people you care about. And honestly, I'm not going to do any more videos for the rest of this week. I might do one, I might not do one next week either. The reason for this being is that I'm going to take a week off and I'm going to just sit back, I'm going to watch some more stuff, I'm going to have a laugh, and then I'll come back at you with Tin Man. I'm going to have a rewatch of it, I'm going to see how I feel. And I want to come back. And in the new year, hopefully within January time, I will be doing a collaboration. Now, I'm not going to say with whom, but their channel will be up on the link. There will be a link to their page in the description of that video as and when it comes out. But I wanted to let you know that a collaboration is coming, and it is happening. And I'm hoping that in the next year there'll be a few more. Possibly one involving hardcore pornography. If you don't know who that is, he is my brother. There'll be a link in the description below for him as well, possibly. If not, just type in hardcore pornography onto your YouTube search. Yes, it is called that. Don't be scared. I'm not leading you to anything nasty online. But honestly, rewatching this film has really reminded me, I think, of just how much we really do lose ourselves in the materialism of Christmas. And honestly, take from that what you will. Randomfish out.